What's up, y'all? It's your boy Son, along with my co-host, Miss Taylor Day. Got us looking like Simply Marvelous in here today, but we are on the Jason Files, and we are streaming on the Simply Marvelous page as well as Facebook. If you're tuning in, what up? What
What up?
up?
What up? What?
What up? They give him a Martin. What's up? What's up?
What up?
What's
What
up? I mess around having laryngitis after that, boy.
up?
Uh,
Gotta protect those
anyways,
vocals.
yeah, I know, right? We are here to talk Daredevil. I hope you guys are watching. It is a very good show so far. I'm interested to see how Taylor Day feels about it, being her first
Hmm.
Daredevil experience for the most part. I think, yeah. So I'm itching to see how she feels about what's going on up with the show. So before we get to that, Taylor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm Tony
Hmm.
the Tiger. Great.
Tony the
Since we're
Tiger
dropping
with it.
brands, yeah, Tony the
Right.
Tiger. I'm just
Hmm.
Frosted Flake over here. Yeah, everything's going fine in the streets in the hood.
You
Just
good?
like yeah, each day is a new day for an even better day. Let's keep it positive.
I like
Um,
that.
your girl's deep diving into therapy and all those things, and so
Mm,
yeah,
okay. All right.
okay, we're building over
Everybody
here.
need a little bit. That's for sure.
Okay,
You already know that.
how are
That's
you?
for
What's been going on in your world?
sure. Nah, I'm doing good. I probably need a little bit of therapy my damn self right now. But no, everything's good for the most part, gearing up for a big trip next week.
Yeah,
Trying to get some
Hawaii, right? I
yeah,
don't know if no
going to the
official business out there
islands.
like that.
Going to the
Yes.
islands. Uh-huh. We need it. It's time to vacate this. I it's this we in the mainland, that's what they call this, but it's time
Hmm.
to vacate. We need some new scenery, yo. That just
Y'all need
really is. But
vitamin D.
yeah, factuals. Speaking of that, how's the weather out in New York? Is it the same as it is here for the most part?
It's,
The
I mean,
60s?
yeah, it's like in the 60s at night. It gets like maybe a little bit lower, like 50s, like maybe high
50s and
40s.
40s.
But during the day, it
Hmm.
feels pretty good out. I'm just going out in like a little jacket, a long
Hmm.
sleeve situation. I
Hmm.
washed my coats and put them away for the season. So I'm hoping we're not going to have any like winter snaps coming
Mm.
because I'm ready. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready to lay out in the park, you know?
That's what we do in the spring and the summer. We go to the
You
park
know,
and lay down.
I think it's important to be in a concrete jungle. I think it's important to get near some greenery and get yourself
Fact.
grounded.
Hmm.
And put your feet in, like connect yourself back to the earth. Um, you know what I
I like
mean?
that. I like that.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
people say stuff like that when they live out, like go out west. Like the grass just don't grow. It just not as everything's not lush and green and
Yeah.
colorful out there. So yeah, I understand what you mean by that. It is
Listen,
good
when
to have
I
those little
it
green
is
around.
it is, and what I would do when I was out in the West, when even though there was like some green here and there, another great grounding, the
Hmm.
beach, right by that water, just being next to the ocean and
Hmm.
hearing those waves, something about it will literally suck you into the ground and calm you and say, "Hey, the earth and the world is so much larger than you right now.
It's
Calm
factual.
down." And I'm like, "Okay,
Hmm.
calm."
Uh-huh. I understand that. I'm not a big beach person, but I get the same effect when I'm on an airplane. When I get
Okay, yeah.
that bird's eye view, like, man,
Mhm.
I mean, it ain't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like,
You're
even
a grain of
the
rice.
first time Trump got elected, I was in the air. And I'm like,
Where were you
you know
going? Where are you
what?
coming from?
I forget where we were going at that time. We make trips all the time. So, but I was
Mhm.
like, man, it ain't that big of a deal, y'all. Look at all this, like, everybody's so mad and everybody's distraught. I'm like, bruh, this
It
view
ain't
I
that
got,
big a deal until my
you know what I mean?
Medicaid gets cut off, okay?
I know that,
Then
and
it's
then
gonna be a big deal
I
for
understand.
everybody.
I, But let's not get too far in the weeds before we go into political things and things. But
Very
anyway,
true.
we are here to talk about Daredevil. We are, and I'm very excited to hear what you got to say. Uh,
Yeah.
if you're viewing from either channel, whether it's Simply Marvelous or Jason Files, please hit that like button, please, and hit that subscribe button. Support the channel if you like the content. If you don't, still hit that subscribe button and the like button. Then go in the comments and tell me how much you don't like it. I appreciate you. All right, Taylor Day. You know I'm putting you right on the spot because
Right on the
you're
spot. Just
kind of
cut
here.
right to it.
I mean, right to it. Nothing spoilery, but I just want to know your general feelings about the Daredevil show and
Yeah.
world. Uh,
Yeah.
right off the cuff, because obviously, not obviously, but you did not watch the Netflix series,
I'm
so
sorry. I'm a
nah,
poser.
you
No.
good. Nah, ain't nothing about that. They're supposed to make shows when they do it this way. You're supposed to be able to hop right in and kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you've never seen the first three. Because I assume a lot of people who's
Mhm.
watching this one, may have not seen the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Because we get new generations of Marvel fans all the time. So
All the
uh
time.
all right. Yeah, let me know what you think, bro. Let me know
Okay,
what you think.
so I'll be honest, like you said, I didn't watch the original Daredevil show.
Right.
I didn't even watch the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. So I really was coming in very
I
fresh.
dig you.
I mean, I'll tell you, I will say though that like once upon a time I did watch the pilot of the original Daredevil show, but
Okay.
I'll also be honest that I don't remember anything. I just kind of remember generally how it was shot and how it looked in like the overall vibe of it. But I
Hmm.
wish I remembered more to be able to compare with what I saw of the new Reborn show. So yeah, I don't really know anything. I knew that Kingpin was his main arch enemy. I knew Kingpin also is involved in the Spider-Man universe. I knew from the original series about Foggy and the other chick that ends up with Punisher. I feel like I watched Punisher more than I did
Karen
Daredevil.
Page. Yeah.
Yes, Karen Page.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
so knew about her. Even knew that she links up with Punisher at some point in time. Um, that's all that I knew. Honestly, that's all I knew. So watching this, and then also that first 10 minutes of just or 15, so it felt like 20 minutes of like a straight up fight sequence. And it was like at first I was like, okay, so these are my thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm getting all over the
No,
place.
you good. I want to hear it all.
Yes. Okay. So number one, I thought it was shot really cool, and in order to draw the viewer in, it was just very interesting how the camera kept going forward and back amidst the fog and seeing all the
Hmm.
choreography and everything. I thought it was very cool. I also was thinking, how cheap? Because I feel like in the original Daredevil, we were straight up seeing full choreo, whereas this
Right.
felt kind of like CGI like,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh no, are y'all going to do the cheap Disney thing? Are y'all doing the
Hmm.
cheap Disney thing? So I was nervous and also kind of like, what are we doing? What are we? I know. I mean, like I have reference, but right now this reference is nothing because who is even the villain at this point? Like,
Hmm.
why this is a whole? And then when what happened,
Yeah.
I was like, not just like I think from a script wise, it was really great setup to really put like um, Matt Murdock in the position that he's in, and like to give reason for the show. But
Right.
it was so tragic that I was like, the first episode, y'all couldn't get this man a check for a couple more
Right.
episodes before y'all did this. We've never seen this. We never see Foggy on TV no more. Does he have a contract somewhere else? Like, what's
Man.
happening?
Apparently he wasn't going to do the show. Apparently. I don't know if that's true or not, but
He just didn't want to do it, and so they're like, okay, well, we're gonna kill you off.
I don't know.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
that was spoiler. That was spoiler, y'all. I'm
nah, it's
sorry.
all good. If you're watching this, you know what it is. But
Yeah,
um yeah. No, the first 15 minutes was a doozy.
it was
It
a
was a lot.
doozy.
I didn't
He
think they were
wasn't
gonna
pulling
go
his
that
punches.
heavy right out the gate. Yeah. Yeah. Right out the gate. I'm like, "Ugh." But I did have a sneaky suspicion at the same time. But I was like, I
Yeah,
just know they're not going to, because everybody knows if you watched the original show, you're
yeah,
in love with the trio of Karen Page and Foggy and
yeah,
Matt Murdock. We're not even talking
yeah.
about Daredevil. That's, everybody loves that three. So to see them
Three
all on screen again,
Musketeers.
it's like, yay, you know what I mean? Yay. And then, oh
Yeah.
shit. You
And
know
it's
what I
like,
mean?
oh,
Yeah.
oh. They said this is not your mama's show. And it was
No,
like,
it's not.
oh. They were like, y'all thought this was about to be Disney Mickey Mouse. And it's like, no, this is Mickey Mouse after dark when he comes capping folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chest shots and all that. Chest shots and all that.
Like last moments of breath and cracking skulls and stuff. I'm like, dang.
Hmm. Yeah. Bullseye, who's the man who put the bullet in his chest. He's a villain from season 3. Now,
Oh, okay.
I will say I don't remember a lot of the show just based on time.
Mm-hmm.
This show came out in 14, the original
Mm-hmm.
season, I believe, 2014. The last season came out in 2018. So it's literally been 6 or 7 years since anything. The only thing we've got
Yeah.
Matt Murdock was in the Spider-Man movie and then in She-Hulk. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I forget a lot about this stuff too, but yeah, that's where we got that guy from. But I digress. You can keep going if you want to keep
I'm trying to think
expounding
what
on
else.
your
Um,
feelings.
I thought it was like the later choreography, I thought was really great, like fight choreography. It was funny. I don't know how much of y'all know, but like I'm in and out of working in the industry myself. So
Hmm.
it was fun seeing some of the stunt guys, and I'm like, oh, I recognize that guy. Like we worked on the
Nice.
same show. So
Nice.
I was like, good for him. And then
Yeah.
he got killed. So I thought I I just enjoyed the show
Uh-huh.
and Vincent D'Onofrio, I love him.
Everybody
Love
says
this man.
D'Onofrio. I don't know how
Is it
they say it, but
D'Onofrio? Okay,
I think
whatever.
so. It's all good.
Vince, we go all the way back to Men in Black 1. Even
Sugar
before
water.
then, he was in Sugar Water. Sugar Water.
Hmm.
And even
Yeah.
before then, he was in, what was it? It was like either Mystic Pizza or My Best Friend's West. So one of those movies back then. But man's
Hmm.
a phenomenal actor.
Top
Um,
tier.
top tier.
Hmm.
And I love seeing him in anything. Anything he does, I'm like, I'm there. I want to watch it. Remember, did you watch Magnificent Seven?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that was you have to watch the one with all the black people, with Denzel in it,
Okay.
because Vince is in it, and I love his character in it. Also, that was just a phenomenal movie altogether. But
Hmm.
Vince is in that one. I thought again he just did another amazing turn in a role, and I'm like, where's this man's Oscar? Where? Give it to him. Yeah. So him as Kingpin is again like I know he was in Echo, which I also didn't watch.
Yeah, you didn't miss too much. No.
But they kind of picked up like what happened with him in that one, and so
Hmm.
kind of fast forward, he's trying to turn over a new leaf and also be born again. So that was interesting, especially the nod to it. They were like, he's like, oh, I tried to have a protege, but it didn't work out. I was like,
Yeah.
I see you,
Yeah.
I see you,
Yeah.
I
Didn't she
see
shoot you in
you.
the face?
Damn! I was like, call him out, keep your foot on his neck.
That is
Um,
big facts.
I
Yeah.
felt like they were also, of course, I don't even know if it was, of course, since when they wrote it and they filmed it, but it's kind of interesting that like a lot of what's happening in this show, I guess, with Kingpin and his political pursuits, which are like, original to the character, I guess, um,
Hmm.
is,
Yeah.
I don't know, to me, it reflects what's happening in real life now. Maybe not on
Yeah.
a municipal city like level, but it's like, yeah, like just even his campaign that he ran on, and I'm like, child, I don't know, it's just a little bit too close to reality right now. I, I don't know. I don't know if my
Yeah.
soul can take it, but
Mm. Ain't
we'll
that
see what
crazy?
Matt does. Yeah,
Our last two things we've got, Captain America and this have had kind of like, I mean, spot on representations of what's kind of going on
yeah, and I
right
think
now.
that's
So it's
crazy. I think
good.
I think it's crazy, and who knows what the rest of what other content we'll get over the next 4 years,
Yeah, no
and how it
telling.
will. No telling. There's no telling.
No.
Who knows? Well, okay,
Good
so
thing
I
for us
told
though.
you.
This is all pre-written. We all know this is derivative of the comic books. Just
Yes,
so happen to be in the time that we are living in right now. So yeah,
life is becoming stranger than fiction, and it's
yeah,
like, ugh.
yeah.
um, okay, so I'm going to stop right there, and I want to get
Hmm.
your initial overall thoughts, and then we can continue later on what
Oh,
happens.
no doubt, no doubt. Pretty much. I'm trying to think. First of all, like I said, I did watch the original, first three seasons. Don't remember it, verbatim because it's just been so long. But
Listen, COVID happened.
this, huh? Yeah,
I
yeah,
said
yeah,
COVID
yeah,
happened, and all
yeah.
of our
It
memories are screwy. So
did.
okay,
That and old age, but
that exactly hand in
yeah,
hand.
real talk. But um, I love how the show started. First of all, I love any show that the good guy or the good people can die. That's the first thing. We need those stakes immediately. So killing Foggy, which was very sad in the beginning, very
Oh yeah.
sad. But I knew to get to what we needed to get to in this show, it kind of had to happen. It felt like everything in the world was great when
Hmm.
they were all around, hanging out, having beers, sharing good memories and all that. We came here for Daredevil though. So we needed that boost. RIP Foggy. But before I do that, there is a comic that Foggy fakes his death in. And that rumor has
What?
floated around. I don't think that's going to happen in this show, but I'm just putting it out there that it
All I'm
is a
saying,
small possibility that Foggy is somewhere around there doing his Nick Fury thing. Just saying.
explain to me then how number one he had that bag of blood on him to bleed out that much, and then number
Mhm.
two how he got his heartbeat to stop so that Matt Murdock would think that he was dead.
All right, so let's see. Um, First of all, what's the drug that drops your heartbeat down to 1 beat per minute? It's called.
I don't know, but if they keep fooling around with my student loans, I'm gonna find it and fake my own death. Okay, all right, all right. Cuba,
Okay.
okay, Cuba on these loans. Okay,
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. That's hilarious. She trying to do the
okay.
Tupac. She trying to go to Cuba. That's funny. Oh
And y'all
man,
gonna still get
you
albums from
crazy.
me.
You crazy. She recorded a lot of music. You are crazy as hell for that one. But okay, so that part possibly. And how would he get it? How would it get into his system? And how would he know he was getting shot? Yeah. But that, and then far as Matt goes, Matt was in such pain at the time. He did hear that last heartbeat. Once that happened, his focus went straight to Bullseye. And secondly, he was so distraught that he didn't hear the footsteps of Cherry come up
Cherry,
and catch him on the rooftop.
that's
So
real.
it's just plausible for him to not hear that final beat. And then when your heart is only beating once per minute, you kind of just check the hell out, like he's gone. So
Yeah,
I don't believe this is
once
happening.
per minute is
I
wild.
don't believe it at all. But there is a possibility that Foggy could show up later on in the season, like Nick Fury did in Winter Soldier. So
All
just putting it
right.
out there. Anyways, the fight scene, everything you said, CGI and all that. Yeah, I noticed it immediately.
Yeah,
Even
wait,
the
especially
wifey.
the fog. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. I mean, the fog didn't look CGI, but the fog looked like it was trying to cover up CGI.
That's what I'm saying. Well, the fog
Yeah.
to me
Okay.
was like, all right, we're still gonna have the cool bringing you in and out, but so we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to have too much detail, we're
Right. Right.
gonna
Right.
fog
Boom. Boom.
everything out. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I get it.
y'all gonna have all this nice choreography, fight choreography behind this
Right.
smoke?
It's definitely different than the original series.
At
The
least put
original
me in the
series
dark like
was
Netflix would do.
1000% grounded. You got fight scenes like this. You did
You
get,
did.
fight scenes where ultra chaotic, a lot going on, even one take joints. Like he's very famous for the hallway scene where it's just one take, just going at it. Probably 2-3 minutes. They're just going at it, but it's all one take. So I'm used to a lot of that type of action, grounded, not a lot of high flying. But the thing is, they're changing the skill set of Daredevil to match the comic book
Mm,
now.
mm,
Daredevil is as athletic as Spider-Man, even more athletic at some points. If you remember in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, how he
mm-hmm,
was, you know what I mean? That's Daredevil. Like Daredevil is
mm.
like that. So they're trying to get a little closer to that versus being just more brute force. I mean, it was a lot of technique and he had hand skills, but it was real heavy in the first 2-3 seasons. So they're trying to change that. So that's why we're getting this CGI look for the most part. And maybe
Nice.
can I say they're being cheap? But being cheap, I don't know, because CGI is so expensive.
I don't
So
think that I don't want to say that it was cheap because I do not know their budget.
no,
I'm
yeah.
just saying it be looking cheap.
It
Something
looked
about
janky.
that. It just
I
looked,
can
yeah, it looked janky. It
Yeah,
looked cheap. It looked like
I
they were
got
trying to like save money, cut
you.
corners.
Right.
But I don't know
Hmm.
that to be true. Watch, I'm probably shooting myself in the foot. They never gonna get me a job in this industry ever again, saying this stuff like
Nah.
this.
I mean, everybody know what it is. Everybody's been talking about this stuff.
Yeah, so
It's just one of those things. And from your I guess maybe at the end of the show we'll talk about this kind of the process of doing the show, because this show was done differently originally. Like this show
mm,
was supposed to be 18 episodes or something like that, and it had
really
nothing to do with the continuation of the Netflix series. So this is like a
mm,
completely different show that they started with. So you can
interesting.
see why they might have to fill in certain pockets with CGI characters, because
Yeah.
maybe they didn't
Do you
get to
know
go
how many
back and
episodes?
reshoot certain things.
Do you know how many episodes it's supposed to be now?
I believe it's going to be 10, if I'm not mistaken.
10. Okay.
I have to look it up again. Just looked it up too, because they have a weird release schedule for this. They did 2 episodes the first week, then they'll drop one, then I think they're gonna drop two again, and then
Hmm.
drop one and one. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's a very odd release schedule. I'll look that up in a minute. But excuse me. That scene was crazy for me. Throwing Bullseye off the roof was like, okay, I
Yeah,
see what
I
y'all
was
doing.
like, this
I
one's
see
different.
what y'all doing. Yeah, he dead. Oh, but he's
Hmm.
not. Like,
But he's
dang.
not. And I was like,
Yeah, yeah. He's he got enhancements in season 3. Um, I just can't remember the extent of his enhancements. I know he had a new spinal situation reconstructed, and like I'll have to go back and do the knowledge. So he's not 1000% just all man. He's somewhat machinery in there too. So
so how
um
do they apprehend him and keep him? I know they had him like tied up
mhm,
and like his hands covered in
mhm.
court, but I'm like, how do you?
Yeah.
He just seemed like somebody that's
It,
going to bust loose and break out.
yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Bullseye is not done. He is not going to just stay in jail for the rest of this show. He will
Also,
be
let's
out.
let's talk about what the how that all started. With that call to Benny, and Benny said, "Oh, they just wanted to know where you were." So this was on purpose, and
Oh, you talking
again,
about Foggy?
yeah, like the whole phone call slash he was just wanting to know where you are, like the whole purpose of killing Foggy
Oh,
was that to get at Matt or
It's
to
definitely
get back at Foggy?
it's a get to Daredevil situation for sure.
Okay.
Um, Bullseye was definitely aware of them too, so
Mm,
he knew how to get to Daredevil. It was all a setup from the get go. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But I wish you know what I mean. When you don't watch something for so long, I can't remember everything about season three. So,
I
but
hear you.
yeah,
I hear
yeah, Bullseye was definitely on a revenge tour for this, and to get to Daredevil, you go through his friends for sure.
you. You want to hear like
Just
a
that
fun little
simple.
fact that has
What's that?
something to do with this, but also nothing to do with this?
Uh-huh. Give
So
me.
I was told the last show I was on that will remain nameless. Um, I was told that our production offices were the I can't remember if they were the offices or the apartment for Daredevil, the Netflix series.
Nice. That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Anyway, keep going.
Nah, we're
There was
gonna unpack all that too. People need
Taylor
to know
lore.
how you get, Taylor's
Please don't.
hustle. We're gonna
No,
talk about that at some point.
I'm
But
retired.
um, yeah, that yeah, the whole first 15 minutes was nuts. And then you get to the Fisk, the Wilson Fisk of it all, the
Yes.
kingpin. It's like, first of all, Kingpin is top three villains in the MCU thus far. Probably only behind Thanos and Killmonger.
Makes
And you
sense.
could probably put him above Killmonger if you wanted to, just because he's had so much more screen time. And but
And he crosses what franchises? But again, Killmonger
yeah,
does too in a way.
nah, Kingpin is that guy when it comes to Daredevil, and I love his new take. And if you've watched the old ones, you'll know how brutal and ruthless of a basically mob boss he really was. He always had the disposition of I'm doing all this for the city, but his
Hmm.
actions always contradicted that. So knowing he's going for mayor, which that stemmed from Echo. His first
Hmm.
decision thought was to do that in Echo, but him doing this makes it even more interesting, knowing that his criminal background and history, and then he's I don't want to say fronting like he's trying to do good, but he's getting what he wants in a more legal way on the surface at least. Like even telling Vanessa, Vanessa is his wife, and
Hmm.
they have a very strong romance, but things have went awry after Daredevil basically beat him to a bloody pulp in season 3. So you see when he shows up at the table where she's heading the five families of New York and the gang, the moment he shows up, everybody leaves because that's how
Yeah.
thorough this guy is. Like, do not mess with this guy. But to see
Yeah.
him running for office, it's like, wow. And then to see that the people rock with him though. That's
Yeah.
what's the credit. That's what you know what I mean. That's what brings it to today for me. Like, you kind of know this guy is grimy. You matter of fact, not kind of, this
You
guy is
know
grimy, but
how
somehow you
I.
muster up the
I mean,
gumption
like,
to
okay.
support. So it's
Question.
like,
Question for you
yeah,
then. Do you
hmm
think Fisk would have been elected had Daredevil not disappeared? Think about it. They were talking about how crime was on the rise, and how crazy
hmm
things had been since Daredevil had disappeared. And then now
hmm
Fisk comes in and is like, let's get rid of vigilantes. Let's like clean up New York. Let's make
hmm
New York great again. Like
hmm
if Daredevil was keeping everything in check, do you think this that it would have ever escalated this to this to begin with? I know that he's like that it's still
I
canon
would
that
say it was still because Daredevil can't do everything. First and foremost, New York is way
okay,
too big for Daredevil to shut it all down. He's just doing
true,
his little part in Hell's Kitchen. The
yeah,
rest of New York, they was
and
getting
now
what they
Red
was
Hook.
getting. Yeah,
Now he
you know
is
what I
in
mean.
Brooklyn.
So it's not. That's the dope thing about this, and I hope they expound on this. Like New
Mm-hmm.
York, obviously, is a huge city.
Mm-hmm.
We need more than just Daredevil in it. we need more than that. There's a lot of heroes that can live in this universe, such as like in a Netflix series where you had Luke Cage, you had Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and they're talking about bringing them back. I don't know how, when,
Not Iron Fist.
yeah, I
Don't bring
shouldn't
Iron
say
Fist
why,
back.
but when. But all the same characters and everything. Even though Iron Fist, though, come on, y'all could have did better in this one. Y'all need to,
Put it off.
y'all still need to change that casting. But I
Yeah.
digress. Um, yeah, there's a. I don't know. I would still say yeah. Fisk.
I have another question for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know. I know. I'm all over
No,
the
I
place.
like
I'm
this.
excited. I'm hyped. So, this all depends on where this series is going to end,
Hmm.
and where the character is going to end. But do you think Fisk will show up as the mayor of New York in the next Spider-Man movie? Because now Peter's in Manhattan, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it really just
I mean, it
depends
doesn't
on
matter.
this
It doesn't
after
matter
this
anyway. But
Daredevil. I mean,
yeah,
it does because if Peter is
and
the
Daredevil's
street
already been
level,
established
yeah.
in the same universe.
I mean, everybody wants to see Daredevil and Spider Man together in a movie show. Don't matter. Spider Man is contractually. I think he cannot be in a TV show, if I'm not mistaken. So it would have to be on the big
No
screen.
problem.
But
It would have to be on the big screen. But again, if
and
this
they've already
show is
established that
canon, and they've
they've
already
already been together.
established it with Matt
Hmm.
in the last
Hmm.
one,
Hmm. Yep.
sir,
Spider Man was mentioned in this one as well. If y'all didn't see that, he did. Fist did say something about. I think what did he say? A guy with a spider on the shirt or a web? I forget what he said, but it was a Spider Man reference. So
you love those references.
um, we'll see where Kingpin is at the end of this show, but I assume that Kingpin will still be in office by the end of the show. I would not want them to take him off the board when they already know that there's a season 2 coming. It
Hmm.
would be kind of dumb for me. I mean, obviously there should be peril and a test, maybe he overcomes it and maybe he is being good. Like we just went through this with Norman Osborn.
Yeah,
So it's the same thing. We just know where this usually ends up, but they held it back because they know they got 2 to 3 more seasons to let it marinate. So hopefully they do the same here. I don't
same.
know. I don't know. I do want to see Grimy Fist though. I need him to be uh you
Grimy
know
fist.
I need him to see him grimy because that's what he does. That is what he does. He is a mastermind at it. But we got in here same day parlay.
Hey, same day
Ab-
parlay.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just good TV, man.
It
And
is.
then
I was very
it's
impressed.
just very good TV. I believe 7. I believe. Let me look this up because
So
she asked me the same thing real quick. Let me get this in. Um, Daredevil, brother, got to type. Not
type
good
it
at it.
up.
Born again episode count. Episodes. Let's see. Looks like there's going to be 9 actually. So 9 episodes. So we have 6 more to go. Plenty of shenanigans to sift through, which is beautiful though. Um, I forgot where I left off. Fisk and I don't know. Vanessa, that's somebody we really need to keep an eye on because I think she's pulling some of these strings on the under in the underworld. Even though
Yeah,
Fisk wants her to calm down because he can't have anything linked to him that is illegal at this moment, but
right.
she has become a powerhouse and it's crazy because he roped her into the whole lifestyle and she could have him taken off the map if she wanted to, it seems like at this moment. So it's pretty crazy to me.
That is crazy.
But anyways, I'll pass it back to you because it felt like you wanted to keep it moving. And that's where I'm at. Where are we going from here?
I was about to say that was me 20 minutes ago. I don't know what I'm doing
Yeah,
now.
that was. I know we ain't gonna remember what we was talking about at that
Wait,
time.
I want to talk about them in therapy though. Uh, both of them
Yeah,
in
they are.
therapy. I was like, good for y'all.
Yeah.
Marriage counseling,
Mm-hmm.
couples therapy. We love
Yep.
that. with Matt's new woman. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Hmm.
this is going to be a conflict of interest for her. Will she mention it? Probably not. Will he find out? Probably so.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, how interesting.
Hmm.
How
Yeah, you
interesting.
already know Matt always keep a lady. You know what I mean? He is a ladies'
Yeah,
man. I mean, he got She-Hulk. Let's just be clear out here.
that's
He did,
real.
you know what I mean? He did the walk of shame and everything. So let's be clear that Mr. Matt Murdock is a ladies' man.
Good times.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, the couples therapy thing is hilarious because, like I just said, you know, they're both on two sides of the spectrum now.
Hmm.
He's trying to do good. She's running a criminal enterprise and she's doing it very well. And he wants her to leave that alone right now and
Hmm.
let, what do you say, the rats kill off each other, cannibalize each other. Like, he doesn't care. I'm on to bigger things. It's like,
That
man,
voice be cracking me up.
yeah, he's
Used to
he
just
feels
be
like he
talking
has
like this.
almost like I don't want to say autism, but he's not like 100% like just normal up top, and
Yeah.
he's always twitching. He's
He
you know what I
is
mean?
always twitching.
Yeah, he's always like he's nuts.
Yeah,
He's
he's fun.
absolutely nuts. But
He's
he is
amazing.
making a very hard and what do you say, concerted effort to
Yeah.
at least look like he's on the straight and narrow these days.
Yeah.
But
He's trying, but that truth gonna come
therapy.
out. That truth
Yeah,
always come to light.
therapy. 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 I
They
should have
try to
been
save his
that's
his
what I should have
marriage,
did.
but
Yeah. That's what
what?
we need to do is become therapists. Everybody need therapy.
Listen.
Man.
I got too many issues of my own to continue taking up everybody else's issues. Especially as a therapist, the person you talk to ain't gonna take advice. And even as a therapist, it's not always your place to give advice. It's just to listen.
Hmm.
So listening to
Hmm.
people slam their heads on concrete over and over again. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But
It
I
is a
hear
tough
you. But
job.
that doesn't mean that everyone should still definitely go to therapy and figure out their lives. But
Yeah.
as far as me
Shout
and
out to
mine,
therapy. Shout
shout out
out
to
to
therapy.
therapy. Even I will say, I won't say this right now because we'll talk about this later. But therapy, it is very much needed, but some people use it as an excuse.
Oh, of
Not
course.
therapy per se, but they want to play up like they're crazy or something's wrong with them.
Yeah,
We're living in a world where everybody wants to be a victim, and it's kind of weird to me.
that's
I don't
real.
believe that's not the case for everybody, for sure. It's not. It definitely isn't.
That's
A lot of
real.
people are going through some things, and no matter how small or big it is, you can't tell somebody is not worthy of going to therapy. But the
Exactly.
mentality these days is a
Yes.
victimhood type. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to get
All right.
sympathy. Like, come on.
I have questions for you.
I like that. I just like it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Especially when you come with it like this. When you
I'm
get
like,
here, I know it's about to be one of these. Go ahead.
if you could put if you could put each one of the characters in therapy, what would you tell them?
Ooh.
I told you it was one of these.
Each one of them. So we're gonna start with who? We're gonna start with Matt.
Yeah, start off with Matt.
First of all, I'd be like, bruh, I know you can see me. That's the first thing I say.
You ain't
You too
blind.
cold with it, bruh. You too
You
cold.
blind.
Quit
You were
faking
blind.
it. Quit faking it. I know you trying to get sympathy, like I was just saying, weren't you?
Right.
No. uh, mm,
What type of
what would
constructive
I?
criticism would you have for Matt Murdock? Where's he slipping?
Mm,
Where's his blind spots? We can
man,
come
Matt
back next
Murdock.
week. We
Because
can
I'm
come
trying
back
to.
next week and talk about it.
I'm trying to think of it as actually, Matt, because as a viewer, I'd be like, bruh, put the suit on. We trying to see you as Daredevil.
I mean, like, it
But
seems like there's a part of yourself you're still trying to hide or suppress. What's that about?
oh man, I don't know.
It's
That's
okay.
hard.
Think
It's hard. I
think about it. Like, think about it. We'll come back next week, but that's your homework.
okay.
as a therapist, since we're talking about therapy so
I
much, and
like
because the
that. I
characters
like
are
that
in
though.
therapy, as a therapist, it
Write
was
that
just
down
always
and text
good.
it to me so I remember because that
I'll
it'll
try
be a
to.
great segment. A great
Yeah,
segment. Everybody
yeah.
needs it. Um, yeah. All right. Dang, that's crazy. I like that. Matter of fact, I'm about to write it down because I gotta remember that. I'm just gonna put in therapy sessions.
Therapy, therapy sessions with our characters from
Oh man, I'm
Daredevil.
over here typing on the wrong keyboard. Therapy.
And then also like we would have to have like like uh like a VA, Vigilantes Anonymous, and everybody comes and it's a group therapy, and
Right.
it's
Ooh,
like, all right,
yeah.
this
That'd
is
be a lot of work right
Vigilantes
there.
Anonymous.
That's a lot of
What?
work.
Yeah, I feel we're all taking on the world's issues on our shoulders.
Facts.
And I don't know. Anyway, it's just fun to think about. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. I don't know who's next. I don't know.
Let's see. Let me see. I wrote down some things that let's
Yeah.
see. Yeah, vigilante. We damn near didn't talked about all of it. um, well, let's get to episode 3 real quick because that's the most recent thing. The trial of the White Tiger. What is his actual name in the show? Is Ayala is his last Hector Ayala. Um,
Door.
yeah, in
Door.
episode 2,
Yeah.
he's walking down the stairs to the train and he sees somebody in distress. He jumps out to help. It happens to be 2 cops roughing up an
Plain
informant.
clothes cops,
Yeah.
right? They were plain
Huh?
clothes. They were plain clothes cops
Yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. They were
No, we're chopping
They were
up.
roughing up their informant pretty much, and Brother Ayala, aka White Tiger, jumps in and tries to help, but accidentally kills one of the cops. And now he's obviously in the courtroom being represented by Daredevil and all these cops in the city, and Mr. Fisk is watching closely because they want him to be convicted. Obviously, all these cops are dirty. Most of them are dirty. I shouldn't say all of them, but
Yeah.
the cops that were in particular that we're talking about there were dirty. In this episode, oh man, it was actually a pretty emotional episode. uh,
Yeah.
um, I'm trying to think, Brother Ayala. First of all, let's get put respect on Brother Ayala. What's his real
R.I.P.
name? His real name is Kumar de los
Mhm.
Reyes. He passed away 2 years ago, 2023, of cancer at
Ah,
age
so
56,
terrible.
which is wild, man. It's very wild. Obviously, we had experience with that. Yeah, not too long ago. So yeah, to see that and the show Peril is crazy to see, know that after because I knew it, but I forgot about it. I heard it at the time that it happened, but
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with his any roles he's ever played before, but I know he's been in some things. A lot of people have said he is a great actor as far as some of the things he's already been in, but in this show, being the White Tiger, a vigilante on the streets, and obviously there's a war out on the village vigilantes of New York. It was dope to see in this case. Previously, Matt said we're not allowed to tell them that he's the White Tiger in this show. Yeah, in the courtroom because it would grant an unfair bias, in the case. But
Mhm.
after things go awry in the case, the informant gets cold feet and blows up Matt's whole argument. Matt is forced to resort to the one thing he can do, and it's to out
He
Brother
said,
White Tiger. I got to
"Yeah,
do it. I got to do it because we all need to see who this White Tiger guy is and why he would not kill a cop just for no reason in general. So,
mhm.
um, outing his brother like that, but all the testimonies, everybody hitting the stand. he saved me from a burning car, and he helped a cop do this and all this in his defense. And to see him get his flowers and the emotion he was having on the stand, it kind of,
Mhm.
after hearing that he died, I know he was going through that during the show. So the, you know what I mean? Like the real emotion connects. And it draws me back to Chadwick also. Though he didn't let nobody,
Oh,
he let nobody know, but you
ah,
already know his internal, thing he was going through while doing all these films, Black Panther and showing up in Endgame and all these things. It's like, man, the weight brothers they needed therapy. They really did, but I'm sure they, man's they just, bear the weight of it and do whatever. But yeah, to see that, and he's not guilty in the end. And you see that, that weight come off his shoulders, and you see him with his family. And the whole reason he was going through there was to go put flowers into a new apartment that he was about to, his first apartment for his family in the show. So I was,
terrible.
yeah, crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, to see that was like, man, that's tough. That's real tough. Hold on, let me see
yeah.
something. Let me see something. Oh, somebody just wrote something. I gotta see what this is saying.
The bee.
The
Hey,
B.
the
IGN
bee.
gave the third episode a 6 out of 10. In my opinion, it was a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. It's hard to give it higher just because there was a little to no action for a superhero show, but it definitely wasn't a 6 in my opinion. I mean, factual. That's is definitely not a 6 because Daredevil is a damn lawyer.
Yep.
So you can't have an episode dedicated to him showing and proving that he's nice at his actual craft, the craft that he gets to show everybody. So
Do
I
you
don't get it.
like?
That's
Do they think
crazy
it
to
was
me.
like a break in, like a little bit, like what, like just too political, or like too, like they didn't set up enough of White Tiger
Nah.
between the two episodes, or
Oh, the White Tiger thing. First of all, everybody's sad that we didn't get to see White Tiger in actual action, and I'm one of them. But as far as I don't know, people don't know what they want. Let's just keep it 1,000. Wow.
you know what?
If this
You ain't
show
never lied. You ain't never.
if this
People
show
don't know
was
what they want.
all if it was all Daredevil and he was just out in the street whooping ass the whole time, it'd be like, but you forgot he was a lawyer. We didn't get no lawyer stuff from
We never
Daredevil.
see him as a
You know what
lawyer.
I'm saying? But then you get a actual lawyer episode, which we never really got in the first 3 seasons, except the Frank Castle portion of it.
Yeah.
But you damn near went full 3 series, yeah, seasons without it. So now you finally get it, and nah, that's crazy.
Also, what
Anyway,
were the ratings for the first and second episode?
I do not know, but I can look up Rotten Tomatoes real quick just to
I
see
got it.
kind of what the
Oh,
overall
just pulled up the
look.
last one, so let me get it. Daredevil.
Okay.
Also, speaking of Daredevil, because the whole show's about
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil, I really love the opening title card for the show. Really like it. It's giving me like 90s Batman Beyond or something like that. And
Nice,
I'm
nice.
like, I
Mm-hmm.
like
No,
it. I
no,
like it.
they have the look, the feel, and all that stuff together. You remember the first time he saw uh Kingpin and he met him in the
Hmm.
street, and then he
Hmm.
said, hey, let's go have a talk. And he's like, okay. And then he turned towards the camera, and then you see the slow motion, and then the music
Yeah.
come in. I was like, oh man, they already know what we like.
Okay.
They know what we like. this There's a lot of visual
Uh
cues in here that zooming in and out, like you were talking about earlier. Even his hearing sense, where to zoom in and
huh.
kind of like focus out. It's like, man, they know what the heck they're
Yeah.
doing. But
It's
did you
shot
check it
nice.
out as far as Rotten
Um,
Tomatoes?
it says the series premiere 8 out of 10.
Solid.
I
We
don't
like that.
know yet about the next one. I'm trying to see.
Okay.
Joshua Ewell
Mm-hmm.
is the person who's scoring it for IGN. I don't know what the next one is, but I'm gonna check Rod
It's all good. All good.
4.
But I forgot what I was talking about. But oh yeah, episode 3. Yeah. It was a great episode to me. I think it was better than episode 2, to be honest. Episode 1 was the
Mm,
best so far, but episode 3 was second best, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
they
he's just
said
he was
you're
in that
gonna
lore.
watch the show.
Huh? Oh,
I said, but with the first 3 episodes, they basically ensured that you're gonna watch the show.
oh, facts. Oh yeah, big time. I
Okay.
mean, like I said, we
So far it says certified fresh at 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's the critic
nice.
score. Audience score is 82%.
Critic
So
score
yeah,
and audience score
we're doing
82%. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're
I
doing pretty
expect
good.
it to rise as the season goes on. I think they're
Mhm.
slow playing this season. You know, they gave us the action in the beginning just to let you know, yeah, we about that life, but we going to, you know what I mean? We're going to actually give you substance and give you things that we didn't give you in the first Daredevil season 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3 right quick and establish where these characters are really at right now. But
Hmm.
things are going to hit the fan, especially after White Tiger. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad, bro. I was ready. I was ready. I thought he was about to, I kind of knew something bad was going to happen because he was not supposed to put the suit back on, but he could have gave us a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing I will say though, so first of all, Mike Hoffman says best episode of the season. I ain't gonna argue. I probably like episode 1 more, but you know into something though. You know what's going down.
Dang, Mike said
Episode
3
3.
over that opening sequence.
Yeah. Yeah. Episode 3 was good. It was very good. Like I said, a lot of people do want to see Matt lawyering. It's not a real word, but
What if this
yeah.
is Disney Plus trying to like redo their last lawyer show on HBO? They said if we're gonna wipe it, we have to
Yeah,
give you new court scenes to let y'all know we
right,
actually know how to do this right. And I'm
right.
like,
Facts.
wow,
Now I will say I would love to see her pop up in the courtroom. I don't want to see the
Glenn
green
Green.
version. I don't want to see that. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but it would be cool to see her actually, just
Yeah.
her do some
Or
lawyering and they actually have to go
yeah,
against each other. That'd be sweet.
that would be.
Yeah. But and he got a new boo, so he gotta look at her too. Kind of crazy. That new boo can't do nothing about it though.
No, just
Yeah.
talk to her on the couch
Yep. Get
about
you.
it.
But I'm trying to think what else we got. Man. Um I felt like we was about to go somewhere with that. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so White Tiger, believe it or not, this is the lesser known White Tiger version that we're getting right here. So White
Mhm.
Tiger was a character that came out in the 70s, I believe. I'm not sure if he debuted in a Spider-Man issue or Daredevil. I don't know. Not read none of them. But if you have been into comic books and have been reading comic books since the 90s,
Uh-huh.
and you know that White Tiger is actually a female, and it is the niece.
Woo!
It is the niece of brother Hector Ayala. So
So what you're saying is
the
White Tiger
mantle
will
can
be
be
back,
passed. Yeah, the mantle can be
and they
passed. It
showed
is
this.
that. Yeah, it's
Sorry, sorry. Oh,
the amulet that gives them the power. I don't know what the power set is, to be honest. I play I used to play this game called Marvel Snap, and in the game, like it's kind of like a card based, battle game, but her powers, like it's like a tiger spirit that comes out. So I don't
sorry.
know if that's something that's going to happen. I hope that don't happen in this. It's just to be real, because that might look corny, but there's definitely a power source with that amulet that he wears, and I don't know to what extent that it powers him, even to the extent that could he survive a shot to the wig. I don't know. I just don't know. So just putting it out there. That is out
Time
there.
will tell. We will
But
see.
I would love to see uh his niece or someone of that nature take up the mantle. Maybe show up
Yeah.
in a Spider-Man show or something. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
And then eventually in whatever's going to be Young Avengers or whatever they're going to end up doing.
I don't think they're doing Young Avengers anymore. I think I
I
heard
think it's
something
not
about
because
that
all
being
these folks are
one
grown
person.
now.
Yeah.
All these like kids are collecting like Social Security now because they took so long. So it's gonna be old Avengers now. Like waited too
Yeah.
long.
We do have to do a
But
show about some of these leaks they've been talking about. Even though I don't want to, like they did the Doomsday leak and all this stuff. I don't want to get into the actually that stuff, but there's like casting news and stuff like that. You know who Sadie Sink is?
yeah, she's allegedly supposed to be in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. But
What?
previously they said she's supposed to be Jean
Jean Grey.
Grey. So
We'll
are we
see.
actually going to get X-Men in Spider-Man 4, or was the casting rumors wrong? Could she be
Well,
someone
you
like
never
Black
know.
Cat or someone of that nature? So I don't know. It's weird. I'm not sure.
We shall
Um,
see.
yeah. T'Challa's coming back. Well, that's a whole episode we gotta talk about because
I just think that is in poor taste. Unless they're really like jumping forward in time, and his little
they have
son that
to.
was little
Yeah.
is the person now. And then what y'all gonna do with Shuri? Like, I
Yeah.
have so many questions. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
I don't.
What y'all sent him in that machine? Remember the machine in Endgame, and they turned Scott into the baby?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Are they gonna do
to age him
that
up real quick.
and age
The
him up real
microwave
quick?
ager,
Is
the
that what
ager.
y'all gonna do?
I hope not. I think that well, since we're here now, I
We're
do
here.
think they're going to jump forward in time. Um,
Okay.
if they're doing like God Emperor Doom, where he just has the full gambit of powers, that
Hmm.
he could somehow jump forward in time. And then we're dealing with universes colliding and things of that nature. I don't know what kind of MCU rules are going to get made up during that. So they have
Uh,
to either pull him from a different universe or they
that's
have to jump forward in time. That's the only way it
I
happens.
I was
So,
thinking they're gonna pull him from a different universe and just
yeah.
do
But
it.
then
So
the problem will be with that is how do you keep him? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, does he
I don't know
really
if you
stick
keep him.
around? Does he get accepted in Wakanda? Because he is from
I really
another
don't know.
universe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They get paid more than they get paid to do this, so I'm not gonna tell them how to do their job, but y'all better not mess this up.
I
Who's
will.
old boy that they using? He from Snowfall? The
uh,
man from Snowfall? What's his
yeah.
name? That's who I
Uh,
heard they're using.
Samson Idris.
Okay. I didn't watch Snowfall. I'm assuming that he's pretty good actor. Everybody says I need to watch Snowfall, but I haven't.
I feel like you would. I haven't watched all of Snowfall, but I feel like you would love Snowfall.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm not a
Yeah,
big
true.
into like,
True.
yeah. I'm just not big. Like I've never watched Power. I've never watched none of those shows. I kind of don't like seeing my people look like do that. I don't
That's
on TV. I kind
real.
of don't like it. I don't
That
watch
is
slavery
real.
movies.
Oh,
I've never seen Django. I've never seen a lot of these movies. I don't like seeing
no.
folks that way because it made me feel a way once I leave the show, and I don't want to feel like
Mm,
that. I'm aware
real.
that all this is happening in real life. I understand,
Yeah.
and I know some of these people. You know what I mean? Like I know people who
I will
delve
be
into some of
very
these
honest
worlds.
then. Yeah, I'll be very honest. Don't watch that show.
Oh, I
don't,
know what they
don't
own.
watch that show.
I know what they
Don't
own.
watch that show.
I'm not saying I won't watch because I've watched plenty of shows that have
Don't watch
the same elements. It's just not completely all black. I watch Mayor of Kingstown. My favorite character is a black drug dealer in there, but but it just
I
it just
think
hit
it's
different when
yeah.
it's
One
all black.
versus
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
weird. So I don't know, but yeah, maybe one day I'll watch Snowfall because I've heard very good things about it. You know what I
I
mean?
yeah.
So
I don't want it to kill your spirit though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we trying to lift the people up, bro. That's all. You know, give them information, show them the basics. Don't show them diamonds and call it motivation.
Mm, that's a
Mm-mm.
bar.
That's- It is. I just wrote that a couple days ago. Just be 1,000.
Hey, hey, music plug. This is where we'd have that cut, and it would be just you, just like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We working on some. You and me. We working on some things. You hear so,
yeah,
but no, uh, definitely. That's how I feel about it, though. We can jump
yeah,
into that one day, maybe a complete show, because it is. You know, we always talk about representation, but what kind of
yeah.
representation are we looking for? I know it's all
Right.
acting. I know it's all acting, but it's not at the
I
same time.
it's yeah. I think it's important to be careful of yeah, the kind of light you show people. This is the same argument can be had for every time you see Mexico in movies and TV, and there's like this yellow cast.
Cartels and
Yeah, it's like again,
yeah.
yeah, it's cartels, it's murder, it's this and that, and
Hmm.
it's like it's also just regular people, but you
Yep.
guys are only
Hmm.
showing this version of it.
Hmm.
But and it's like it's not ethical, it's not fair.
Right.
It's very
That's why we
skewed.
loved Miss Marvel shows like Miss Marvel because it actually showed a family structure. It showed the real side of things. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
we like to see
Absolutely.
the actual culture of people, not the
Yeah,
part that y'all like us to see.
yeah, that's
Yes.
so real.
But yeah, like I said, I digress. We will
I
dedicate a show to that
I
because it's a big topic though, and we can talk
it is.
about it all day for the most part. So, but Taylor Day, we've talked Daredevil and all that. Can I ask you about some movie stuff pertaining to I would say your career, but
Sure,
the ins and outs of filmmaking somewhat and show
somewhat,
making somewhat. I'm not gonna say, what I mean, you couldn't
somewhat,
probably, but
somewhat.
um how do I go about this? Um it's correct that TV shows and films are they constructed like the actual beginning, like, okay, I'm gonna make a TV show or I'm gonna make a movie. Do they start in the same place or do you have a different
Um,
process of doing one and the other?
I feel like TV and film, very different. So like with film, movies take a lot longer to get made. Scripts are in development for a lot longer before they can get be put in production, where they can
Hmm.
physically be made. So there's some things that will be like being worked on and developed, like movies that'll be being worked on and developed for like 7 years before you ever see it on screen. Whereas
Right.
with television, like you have pilot season, you pretty much have these shows that are being pitched to networks or streamers, and then they go through like a shorter period of development. And like when they do those pitches, maybe like you're pitching the concept of a show, and you're also pitching like an arc over like a season, and then the show's entirety.
Hmm.
And so you kind of have an idea of what's like going to be made, even though the episodes sometimes are being like, if it's a network show, the episodes are kind of being written as they go along in some instances, and
In
other
some
times
instances.
all the like scripts are locked unless it's like tiny edits. Um, but like I don't know, sometimes in movies like the script's locked before you film it and like not really anything changes. Other times like the script changes as it goes depending on how many cooks are in the kitchen. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
it's a different TV and film are very different development process. TV is faster. You're gonna see it on screen faster unless it's Daredevil born again because it's actually but I would say especially if you're like a network show, it's a very fast turnaround. Like within a couple months, you're gonna see it on TV from it being made,
Hmm.
or like a year of it being like made. Whereas like yeah,
Hmm.
movies can take several many years, and then again, kind of like again how Daredevil Reborn was, where it's like you'll film it and then it won't get released for like another 3 years maybe, and then you see
Hmm.
that. That's why sometimes when you see the actors go on the press tours, they're like they'll be asked questions and they're like, let me
Yeah.
remember that we filmed this
Hmm.
so long ago, like. because
Mhm.
it takes a long time to like get it done, get it edited, and then do the marketing campaign and like get it sold to whoever and to put it in the theaters and who's going to do distribution and who's going to do this, who's going to do that, and when it like what's the best time for it to be released that will like draw the most audiences
Right, right.
or whatever, depending on like who the studio's going to fund that. Yeah, so that's a lot of talking nonsense, but like yeah, it's
Yeah.
a different process.
Mhm. I dig it. I've been trying to figure out all this stuff because
Yeah.
as Marvel fans,
Hmm.
we've come accustomed to hearing, oh, they're doing reshoots. Oh, they're rewriting
Yeah.
something. Oh, they're
Yeah.
scrapping and going in whatever it is just is hang up after hang up after hang up. Um,
Yes.
and then nowadays we're so in tuned that we hear about things that are in development that nobody knows about. It's like,
Hmm.
what does that mean? What is development? Is that just an idea that nobody has you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
actually trying to figure it out, or is it, in development? Are you figuring out the basically the entire blueprint? Are you figuring out hair and makeup, locations, story, script and story and all these
Hmm.
things? Is
Yeah.
that what the uh, is that
So
pre-production or is that development? Because
so
pre-production is after development, correct?
yeah, I mean like pre-production is like pretty much like yeah after development. I would say development is working on the story, working on the script. What's the idea? Where they gonna like? Where's it gonna go? Who's going to be your kind of core cast if you're trying to get a big name attached,
Hmm.
because like most of the time you need a big name to sell something. But when you're talking about the rest of the cast, makeup, locations, all those things, that's usually like pre-production,
Hmm.
and then going to production is physically shooting everything. So
Right.
development, like again, some of this is based on me and my limited experience. So
Right.
if anybody who's in the industry who hears me say this and says she don't know what she's talking about, yes, I agree with you. I partially
That's
don't,
from your
but
perspective, then.
I know it's my perspective. It's my perspective. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna yeah. But yeah, I think from my perspective of understanding, as far as when we hear that things are in development, it's like, okay, initially the studio is giving you kind of like a go ahead to make this idea, and it's like kind of that's why we like heard like, oh, here's the slate, and here's things that we're like looking for.
Right.
Along that time of things being released on this slate, you have to figure out how much money you have to make everything, where it's gonna go as far as especially like if you're on network TV, there's time
Yeah.
slots that things have to go in. So if you have
Hmm.
a slate with like a lot of like shows, for instance, that your network has bought and are developing, there's the new ones that they're developing, the shows that already pre-exist,
Hmm.
um, and you only have a certain amount of slots to fill. So you have to figure out what's going to fit into those slots.
Hmm.
Streaming's a little bit different, and I haven't really personally worked in streaming a lot like that, so I can't tell you the biggest differences with that. But I feel like it's kind of the same. There's always going to be a pot that is limited to how much money that they're working with and how much money they want to allocate to each show. And
Right.
again, that's going to be affected by location, your talent that's attached, and that includes cast as well as like directors,
Hmm.
writers, producers. What up? Okay, we'll calm down. He can't hear me, but um, but yeah. So I think it depends. I know, and I think also too, it depends on how many people are watching. So like before, we can talk about how there was so much content coming from Marvel, right? And then
Hmm.
as viewers, we're dropping off, or in the context of subscribers, as subscribers we're dropping off maybe, or like or gaining whatever. It's like they're gonna adjust how much they're gonna make and how much money they're gonna spend based on again like how much people are viewing and what the demand is, and what
Right.
they can afford. And so, like, I don't know, a lot of things are different. This, like, I always take it back to the strike. The strike really jacked us up. The strike really jacked us up. The pandemic really jacked us up. Streaming really jacked us up. Like, I think things would be different if we had not evolved into a world where we're all streaming things. Because guess what? People would still be going to the movies. People would
Fact,
still be buying DVDs, VHS,
facts.
or whatever the new media would be. And that was also a lot of new revenue. All that was revenue that could circulate in the industry. But if
Hmm.
everyone's simply streaming something, and you can watch about 50 to 100 movies for the same amount, like, per month that you would go to like watch one movie at the theater, what do you guys expect? Where's the money supposed to come from? And so now it's like, what do? You try to lower all your production costs. And so that's why everything's heading up out the country. That's why Marvel itself is headed up out the country and going to what? London? London
London.
or wherever else
Up
they're
in
going. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, it's all a lot.
Yeah. The
It's all a lot.
landscape is
But
changing.
yeah, so I think
Yeah.
they like, it's based on money, it's based on demand. It's and they're always trying to forecast what's going to happen and what they want to prepare for and what they want to sink their money into and how much something's going to cost to market. And then also don't forget too that sometimes they'll start filming things and then they'll go and test it. They'll go
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
out in LA they would like, sometimes they'll people would catch you if you were like out like what in the Burbank Town Center. If you were out there, they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to come see this?" And like, you watch something and then give your response to
Mhm.
it. And so it's like a select group of people. And if something doesn't test well, that's what usually ends up like either getting completely scrapped or that's when you have your reshoots. Or if they're
Right.
watching dailies and things aren't working, like the executives are watching the dailies, things aren't working. Even after completed episodes and like they're not testing well or things aren't working or like I don't know. It's a lot of moving parts, especially with Marvel. It's like it's a lot of moving parts. Almost like it makes it a miracle that anything ever gets made because you guys are they're spinning a lot of plates at the same time. So like
Hmm.
in that regard, I will give them a lot of give them respect where respect is due because it's like it's a lot that you have to juggle and make sense of things, especially when you have like umpteen amount of shows in addition to movies and keeping the slates going, and then like actor availability, and then cost, and like location, and like do people like this? Do they not like that?
Right.
Is so and so pregnant? They're not. We're going to have to CGI, this
Hmm.
or the
Yeah.
it's, and then on
It's
top
a
of
lot.
that, another person died. Like
Yeah.
it's a
Facts.
lot. It's a
Yep.
lot to
Do
keep
all that
going.
for people to just be mad at you because you didn't do it their way when they go watch it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a lot. That was a lot of me talking.
No doubt.
Apologies.
I don't have any more specific questions about it, but I will next time I see you because I ponder this
Yeah.
all the time. Like,
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah,
Did
just
you get did you get
uh,
the MCU book?
what book?
I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
Only
It came
books
out in
I have.
2023.
The only books I have is the Marvel Anatomy book where it tells you all the superpowers and explains them in
I just
detail.
texted it to you.
Okay, I can't check it until we
It's
get
okay.
off of here.
It's called
Otherwise,
it's called MCU: The Reign of Marvel Studios, and it talks about how Marvel Studios came to be, basically.
okay,
Um,
we'll check it out.
and yeah, so that would
Make
be.
sure I can
I'm gonna
see.
read it too, but
Oh,
it'd be
there it is.
something.
Okay, the reign of Marvel Studios. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I heard
Interesting.
it's a good read, and it's just
Hmm.
about the history of everything coming together, all the way up to It literally says it all the way up to the disappointment of Ant Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania.
Oh, that's the last one. Of documents. Oh.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh man. Oh no. Okay, yeah, ugh, that's definitely a bad note. Mostly. Mostly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
No,
work
no.
on getting.
Shout out to Marvel though. They're starting to get their act together though. I
They
appreciate them.
are.
I appreciate them. Y'all have plenty of opportunities to really get everybody back on board. Daredevil is one of them. The animated things we've gotten lately has helped out a lot. People are indifferent about Captain America or whatever, but for the most part, they've been kind of doing solid. I won't say everything's getting hit out the park, but they've been doing
Yeah.
well. Thunderbolts is coming. The hype is real. People genuinely really want to go see Thunderbolts due to these last couple trailers, and I like that. Uh, Hopefully, we get positive conversation coming out of Thunderbolts.
Mhm.
Even if the movie is not great, but at least I don't know, man. People they're waiting to dump on Marvel. You know what I mean? They're just waiting, like, ooh, you better not on them. And like, come on, man, just watch the movie, bro.
Just
Just watch the
watch it.
movie.
Just watch it.
Just watch
Trust
it.
the
You know what I'm saying?
process.
Yeah, I mean, but if you don't like it, you don't like it. I agree. I mean, I'm cool with you, but don't be. Watch the movie
This
first. I'll say that.
this most recent trailer has me like more optimistic and excited again because they were like kind of they're advertising it right now like it's the like A24
Oh
indie
yeah,
movie of the
yeah, yeah,
MCU.
yeah, yeah.
That
I
was a
seen that.
great trailer,
Yeah, that was dope. That
and
was
it's
fire.
like I see your marketing and I see
Hmm.
you, and now this is like if you remember back when like the Moon Knight and all of those things were coming out. Remember, we were talking about it, and we were like, even back when originally we were talking about Multiverse of Madness and how it was supposed to be like a horror and like
Yeah,
really doing kind of like different genres and things with like MCU properties. I'm
right.
really hoping that they're like actually doing that with this. And so it can kind
I
of
see.
feel like a completely new and different vibe.
Right.
Um, they're leaning into it marketing wise, so I'm hoping that it
I
actually
hope.
is.
I hope. And Daredevil, it feels different from any other
It
Marvel
does.
TV show. You know what I mean? It feels
It
way different. It actually feels like a TV show, if that makes sense. A lot of, if Falcon or Winter Soldier felt like a long ass movie they just cut up. You know
does.
what I
It
mean? It did. You know what I'm saying? So this feels very episodic. So I'm excited about that. There, sometimes you just got to fall on your face to get it right. So hopefully
yeah.
they're getting their stuff together. Like I said, Thunderbolts looks flames. It does. It really does look good. So I hope it's good. We only got 2 months. It comes
Yep.
out in May, right? So yeah,
May.
yeah.
Yep.
2 months.
First
We
weekend
own
in
that
May.
thing. Yes, indeed. All right, Taylor. Well, shoot, man. That was a. I didn't expect us to go an hour and 20 minutes almost.
Look at us.
You know what I
Look at
mean?
us.
Look at
Still
us.
missing camp though.
Yeah, J Camp. He had things to do, man. J Camp wears a lot of hats, man. The
That's
brother
real.
works. He's actually a teacher. He homeschools his kids, so he has a lot of hats.
Wow.
So, you know, we're gonna catch him on the next one. You already know it. Go. J Camp will
That's
be back
real.
in the building. J Camp is probably watching right now. J Camp, go write some bars, son. We need some bars.
Hey.
Indeed, indeed. Well, appreciate you hopping on with me, Taylor Day.
Of
Feels like a
course.
throwback show.
Hey.
Uh-huh. I'm interested to see the viewership to see if which channel actually got the most views off of this.
Listen, it's a
Simply
race
Marvel's be
now.
cooking sometimes.
Is it Jason Files or is it Simply Marvelous
Yeah.
that's going to come out on top tonight? Simply
We'll
Marvelous,
see.
come
We'll
through.
see. Either way, we all win. You heard? Um,
Hey.
all right. Well, that concludes our show today. I hope you guys join us next week. Same day, same time. Let me say this real quick before we get out here. I don't know if I talked to you about it. The reason why we're recording on Thursday now, we started on Monday and we moved to Tuesday. Monday is not going to be good because I play softball and my season is about to start. So I'm not going to be able to
Woo.
show up on that. Tuesdays, it's like a blah day because it's the same day that this show drops. So it's weird to be able to we can't talk about it the same day because it doesn't drop till 9 p.m.
Mhm.
Eastern time. So I was like, man, and J Camp has an obligation. his other podcast that he does, Fresh Out. Go check them out, support them if you like hip hop and music. They talk a lot of
Hey,
music and the politics of music over there. They're growing strong. I think they got upwards of 10,000 subscribers over there. So go hop on that bandwagon as well. But Spider-Man come out on Wednesdays, Daredevil on Tuesday. I'm like, you know what? We can't wait a whole week to talk about this stuff. When they drop, we got to be able to hop right in and continue the conversation with everyone else. So that's why we're on Thursdays, and hopefully we can plan ourselves here firmly for a while at least on Thursdays. We'll see. We all grown as hell. We all got schedules. We all got to work. We got things to do. So, things happen. So
that's real.
you'll see the me and Jay Camp, or me and Taylor Day, or all three of us, all three of
That's
y'all
real.
might be on here. So you never know. But regardless, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you didn't already, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Let us know how you feel about Daredevil season 4 or Daredevil Born Again, however you want to look at it. Yeah, let us know. Taylor Day, you got anything to say to the people before we rise up out of this thing?
Um, have
Yep,
self
yep, yep.
compassion
Yeah.
and self grace this week. Everyone, like, we're all doing the best that we can with what we got. And the world
Yeah.
is becoming very interesting and changing drastically. So everyone just take
Mhm.
like a beat and just understand and come back home to yourself and understand that you're doing the best that you can with what you're given. And you just
I
take
like
it
that.
one step at a time and one day at a time.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I can't say nothing to add on to that except be good to each other, y'all. Be good to
Yeah.
each other. That's all.
Yeah.
Be,
That's
I
all.
know y'all don't like Ellen no more, but be kind.
Be kind. Ella needed to be kind too. I mean, Ella needed to take her own advice
Yeah, she
on
was
that
just
one.
saying it maybe, but
she,
we mean it.
she started wild now. I got theories on that one, but anyway, we'll let that go. But yeah, bye
Uh, I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace. Oh man, I keep hitting the wrong thing. There we go.